District is reporting 2,000 people without power in the Columbia area due to a lightning strike.
Okay. All right, so we're getting reports now of power being lost in Columbia right now, and you said that was with a lightning strike, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're hearing. All right, so that was about 30 minutes ago. Pearl River Valley Electric, which Hannah just said, is reporting that 2,000, if that was correct, Mallory, 2,000? 2000. So 2,000 people reported without power in the Columbia area. And I mean, this is case in point. You need to be into your safe spot. You're not going to be able to see it. Again, I will show you this camera again. You're not going to see this coming. A, it is rain wrapped, and B, it is dark outside. You're not going to see it. And even with our sky cam, which is on the east side of Columbia, so we're having to look all the way across town to find this rotation. You notice we're just seeing a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. And again, there's people traveling. It is 5:53. People are getting off work. You really should not be driving in the city of Columbia right now, but I will definitely say, especially if you're in Columbia, stay in Columbia. Don't drive north to up 13 at 44. You don't need to right now because that's where that area of rotation is. It's just on the north side of Columbia. So if you're watching, if you know somebody who's heading home, give them a call. Don't text them. Give them a call. Tell them to, hey, stay in Columbia for a few minutes. And then after probably about 6:05, 6:10, they can start to head north once again. And that way they don't have to drive into the tornado if there is one on the ground. But we're not seeing any signs that there is at this moment. But we are keeping a close eye on everything. Now, let's see. I'm getting some reports. Hannah, are you seeing that report that coming out of the chat from?
Yeah, there's a tree that fell on a vehicle at Monroe Road and Moselle Seminary Road. The vehicle was occupied. This is from the severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, so it appears that there is a tree on a vehicle at Monroe Road at Moselle Seminary Road. And I think that's going to be just north of the TV station. So this is going to be on the other side of the interstate, not the part near Max. This is going to be if you go over, cross it, and then it's going to be closest to the Eatonville side of things. But here we go. Another good point. Don't drive in severe weather like this because you never know. A tree, like we're seeing here, a tree has fell on a vehicle on Monroe Road in Jones County, and the vehicle was occupied, as always. You're not going to have an unoccupied vehicle driving down the road, but we're still tracking everything this evening. Tornado warning remains in effect for Marion County right now. I'm looking at this area of rotation. It's not as intense to me, or I should say, excuse me, it is a little bit more intense to me as it was looking earlier, as it's now moving off towards the north and towards the east. So it's getting ready to cross over 35 at the moment. The only community that it's showing up on our pathcast is Improve, but this will be heading into a good chunk of northeast Marion County over the next little bit. So basically, if you live along 35, if you live along 44, you need to be into your safe spot right now. And we always have viewers when it gets cold. They always send in their reports from Bunker Hill, from the Improve area. It always gets cold out there. So those of you who always do that, get into your safe spot now. This is heading directly towards your area. This is going to be very close to Bunker Hill. This is going to be very close to Improve. And eventually, should this rotation continue, we'll have to wait to see whether the Weather Service will issue something for Lamar County. The way things have been so far today, we haven't seen that rotation continue, or it'll transition away from tornadoes to a hail threat. But we're still going to have to watch things very carefully this evening. But again, for those of you who are watching right now, you're maybe getting ready to watch WDAM 7 News at 6. Well, the news right now is weather. We're tracking two severe thunderstorm warnings, or two severe thunderstorms at the time. One has a severe thunderstorm warning. That's this one over here in the Ellisville area, just to the south of Ellisville, towards Johnson and towards the Union community. That has a hail threat with it. And then there's the tornado warning with this cell just to the north and east of Columbia. And this is heading towards Sumrall. Now, again, we got a lot of time between now and then, and the atmosphere is not necessarily set up anymore for a tornadic threat or really sustaining it long term. But in the short term, we are seeing this storm rotating enough that the Weather Service felt it needed to have a tornado warning. So they went ahead and issued that tornado warning. But again, you can see the difference difference. This has hardly any rotation. This is spinning like a top. So we're going to watch things carefully. And I'm here, and meteorologist Hannah Hayes is here. And Hannah, you're looking kind of in depth about the storm. Are you seeing anything new in terms of any debris signatures, or is the Weather Service saying anything at the moment?
No, the Weather Service hasn't added anything. I haven't really seen a new debris signature as of right now. I'm just kind of taking a look at things as it's moving through Columbia. And I'm not really seeing anything new at this moment, but I'm watching chat. So.
All right. All right. So Hannah's very diligently watching things very carefully. It's always good to have a second pair of eyes because, I've been here since 9 o'clock. Hannah came in at noon. So even though we've been watching things off and on throughout the day, it's nice to have someone else that you can bounce off ideas with as well. So Hannah definitely plays a critical part here with the First Alert Weather team. But we're still watching things right now. Everything that's going on. Two storms, one severe thunderstorm warning near Union towards Johnson, but the big thing that we're watching right now, and the reason we're here, is this one severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. It's moving northeast. It's now just on the north side of Columbia near 35. If it holds together, it'll make it to Improve at 6:08, Hickory Grove at 6:15, and should this continue on, it would reach Melba by about 6:20. Melba, of course, in Jeff Davis County, and then Sumrall at 6:24. Sumrall, of course, in Lamar County. So we'll have to see how this goes. Regardless on whether it's tornadic or not, these communities highlighted here on our estimated time of arrival will be getting the impacts. You're going to be getting a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm, a lot of heavy rain, and the possibility of some small hail as well. And that, like I said, regardless on whether this remains tornadic or not, you will get those impacts because this thunderstorm is producing a lot of heavy rain. And we just got a new update. I just saw the polygon get smaller. So Hannah, do you have that information coming in?
Continued the tornado warning until 6:30, and it's still for Columbia. So
Okay, so
that's nothing really new.
So they're just continuing it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so they're just continuing the tornado warning. They have to kind of adjust the box as the storm moves, and sometimes when they do that, there's really no new update. The only thing they're doing is just adjusting the size of the box right there, and this is one of those cases. But Improve at 6:08, Hickory Grove at 6:15, and eventually it may reach Melba at 6:18, Sumrall at 6:24, and should this eventually hold together, it would get a little bit further on off towards the north and towards the east. So we're going to continue to watch things carefully as everything moves off towards the north and east. And again, I don't want our folks in Jones County to think that we're forgetting about you. We're not. It's just that the tornado warning has higher precedence than the severe thunderstorm warning, which is out here near the Johnson community. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning near Johnson goes in effect until 6:30, same time as the other tornado warning that we're tracking. But hail is the biggest threat here. Winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. But again, we're still watching this one severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And again, the atmosphere is really starting to transition away from tornadic formation and is switching to hail. That's why we've seen the severe thunderstorm watch issued. That's why we've seen a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings issued. It's just this one storm is tapping in enough. There's enough where it is that it needs a tornado warning. And these things sometimes happen. But again, we're tracking this as everything moves off towards the north and east. And again, Improve, Melba, Sumrall, you're all in the line of path with this storm. And again, Melba and Sumrall are not under the tornado warning, but regardless, you're going to get the impacts of the storm. You're going to get the heavy rain. You're going to get a ton of lightning, and you could get the a little bit of hail in there as well. You see this little bit of pink right here near the Bunker Hill area, near the R in Bunker Hill. That right there is the radar showing that there's some small hail inside that thunderstorm, and what is lofted in the atmosphere will eventually fall at some point. So that will be falling in northeastern Marion County over the next little bit. Now, for those of you who are watching, expecting to see WDAM 7 news at 6, well, you got WDAM 7 weather at 6. We're tracking a tornado warning in Marion County. This goes until 6:30. The other severe thunderstorm warning from Jones County goes until 6:30. 6:30 as well. And what I'm going to do now is turn off this box. And by the way, you're watching WDM 7, Laurel, Hattiesburg, NBC, ABC Bounce, and all around the world on WDM7.com and on Facebook, the First Look Weather app. We're basically everywhere you are, short of doing the broadcast live from your living room. But we want to do that. We do it that way because we want to have multiple ways to get you. So if you lose your TV, you can still watch us on Facebook, and vice versa. If you need us, we're always there for you. But these are really the only two storms that we're tracking in our area at the moment. New severe thunderstorm warning coming out from Marion County. I wanted to quickly show you we're still watching for redevelopment out here towards Macomb, and I think this will be a trend over the next couple of hours. But I do expect to see the threat come down by 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. And overnight, we will see thunderstorms, we will see rain, but the atmosphere will be pretty worked over by then. And they may be loud thunderstorms, but they're not expected to be severe. So let's go ahead and click on that new severe thunderstorm warning coming out. This is again for Wayne County. They're saying hail up to 1 inch. That would be kind of coming up to quarter size hail. Winds up to 60 miles an hour possible with this thunderstorm. And again, this is out near Tucker's Crossing near 15 now, kind of between Tucker's Crossing and Ovette. This will be coming out towards Strangford, Whistler, and Waynesboro, and even towards Hiawassee and Clara. So new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a good chunk of Wayne County until 6:45, and we're still watching things very carefully. I'm going to extend this back now. Again, the new tornado warning, or the tornado warning that we're still tracking right now. Let's look at it on velocity. We haven't done that in a few minutes, and the rotation with it, Hannah, I don't know if it's just me, but that seems a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
It definitely is not going in a direction that I would like to see. It is a little bit brighter to me.
It is.
Any thoughts on the cell? Let's see. I'm reading it inside my brain, and it's coming out. Let's see. All right. So at the very least, the Weather Service is talking about what their downstream plans are. At the very least, they're going to have to issue a warning for for Lamar County. So for areas north of 98 in Lamar County, a warning will have to be issued for you. The question the Weather Service is saying now is, do they continue it as a tornado warning, or do they continue it as a severe thunderstorm warning? But regardless, a warning is going to have to be issued eventually for this part of Lamar County. So basically Bellevue, Olo, North, the Summerall part of Lamar County. A warning will have to be issued here within the next little bit, but they're kind of mulling it over. Will it be a tornado warning, or will it be a severe thunderstorm warning? They're waiting to see what this storm is going to do first. Now, the storm looked really bright for a scan or two there, but it's starting to, what I'm starting to notice now with it, Hannah, it looks a little bit broader to me. So we're not seeing that fine, bright, pixel to pixel, what we call in the weather gate to gate velocity. I'm not seeing it there, but I'm seeing it over a wider area. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, and that would be more indicative of rotating inside a thunderstorm in terms of maybe a hail updraft, which this storm does have hail.
Yeah.
Hail cores do rotate. They used to show up as rotation, but it's a different type of rotation. It's a broader type of rotation, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. Let's look at it in terms of debris signatures. And I'm not seeing any signs of debris signatures. That's some good news there. But again, the area of rotation right now is sitting right on top of Gates Road. How ironic, gate to gate, and it's sitting on Gates Road. It's coming right into the improve. I think.
Improve.
Not to forgive me, folks. If I'm saying it wrong, it's been a long day. Improve, coming up on 44 and Improve Road. Eventually, this will be getting near Bethel Church Road. And then what's downstream is Lamar County. And this is why I was just saying the Weather Service is mulling over which type of warning they're going to have to issue. They're saying they're going to have to issue something. It's just what they are going to issue. All right, so they're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Jones County until 6:30 for winds in excess of 60 miles an hour and for the potential for some hail. So I'm looking to see if there's anything new coming in the Weather Service chat. I'm not seeing anything. Are you seeing anything, Hannah? Mm-mm. No, not really. Now, I noticed, Hannah, let's talk about the hail threat with this, because I see you got it pulled up, and I'm glad you do. So kind of explain to us a little bit about the hail that you're seeing inside of this tornado warning thunderstorm.
Yeah. So inside this thunderstorm in particular that we're seeing with the tornado warning attached to it, they're seeing an increasing kind of a hail core, 3/4 of an inch right now, and that's seeming like it's continued to travel with this storm as it's moving towards the Improve and Melba area. But if we take a look over here at the severe thunderstorm warning for Jones County and Wayne County, you notice it's kind of dissipating that hail core. That's not really something they're seeing with that anymore. I had a few people asking me about Wayne County, and I'm here to say again that it doesn't look like it's strengthening at this time, especially not considering hail. So that is a good thing. That's good news. It is still a severe thunderstorm warning, so obviously it's still pretty strong as it's traveling through Wayne County and Jones County. But this one right here is continuing this hail core as it's moving along, and it's kind of increasing to me in a way because it started off hail seeing about 1/4 of an inch, and now it's 3/4 of an inch as it's continuing forward. So that's definitely what I think that rotation is popping up. Like Patrick said, hail cores, they rotate. They're rotating updrafts. And so as this is moving along, I definitely think that's what we were seeing it getting brighter with those scans a few minutes ago, was that the hail is getting a little bit bigger. It seems to be strengthening in that way. But that's what I'm thinking the rotation is. I don't know about you, Patrick, but that's kind of what I'm thinking at this time.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we noticed with Hannah earlier when this warning came out. It was very bright area that was where the strongest winds are in a small spot, which is indicative of a tornado. Now we're seeing very fast winds over a large area, and normally when we see broad rotation, it's weak rotation, and it's just over a couple of miles area. But this is strong winds in a large area, and I really think that this is more the hail core that we're seeing with this storm. In fact, let's go ahead and just turn on the Jackson radar site. So we're going to get the closest radar, and yeah, you can see in that area some bright purple starting to show up. That would be the hail core, and that hail core now just to the east of Bunker Hill, and that'll be coming over towards Melba. So if I'm living in Melba right now, you got maybe a minute or two. It's probably lightning like crazy. You got a minute or two, maybe go get that car under the carport or under the lean-to, or go move the tractor out from under the lean-to to pull the car in. But time's running out. Summerall, you definitely got time to go do this. Again, you're probably starting to see lightning, but you got a little bit more time than Melba does because this storm is only about a mile or two away from them, where the hail core is right now. But the rotation is near Improve, but the hail core is on the north side of this, just to the north and east of Bunker Hill. And this hail core continues to move off towards the north and east. As Hannah just showed you, the hail core was pretty. It's there. It's sizable. Anything once it starts getting over the yellow, once it really starts turning orange, that's when we start to see the threshold of severe, of what the Weather Service qualifies as severe hail. That's hail 1 inch or greater. That is the official definition for a severe thunderstorm. But basically anything once it goes yellow or higher, that's when we're really starting to pay attention, and this is getting to the threshold of that. So we're watching very carefully here on the northeast side of Columbia. And by the way, I wanted to show you this for those of you who are in Columbia right now. If you live on the north side of town, you're getting I'm gonna give you the all clear, because the only area we're watching now in Marion County is over towards Improve and up here towards Bunker Hill. And our answer, Hannah, has the Weather Service has decided what they want to do, and here it is. So they have now issued a new tornado warning until 7:15 for Covington, Forest, Jeff Davis, Lamar, and Jones County as well. It's not showing up here, but it does include Jones County. But this is going to be basically a big blanket tornado warning because they are watching this. But again, the rotation is strong enough that the Weather Service is worried this thing may try to touch down. But this is, I think, going to be probably really, I think it's going to turn into kind of a dual core problem. The threat of hail and the threat of a possible tornado with this. But hail up to 1 inch is possible inside this thunderstorm. This new tornado warning does include, by the way, the cities of Sumrall, Seminary, Sanford. This does include the north side of Olo. This will include Raw Springs. By the way, notice this is 98. right? So Bellevue is here, Oak Grove is here. This is going to not include you officially, Oak Grove, but it's going to be close. But really the worst is going to come up here towards Summerall, Sanford, and eventually, if it holds together, getting close to Seminary and Moselle a little bit down the road. But we're still watching it, and notice that hail core with this storm is a little bit brighter to me. I'm noticing that. It always helps if the computer decides to cooperate with me. Notice that the pink it's really pinkening up. It's actually starting to turn white there. So we're seeing very good signs that this storm it definitely has a hail core. It definitely is producing hail, and that hail is about to fall over Melba. So Melba, Summerall, you need to be in your safe spot. Hannah, talk a little bit about the rotation that you're seeing with this right now.
Yeah, let me get back to Max in
All right,
1 second.
you're fine. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
And I see her working on that. So you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So kind of what we're seeing is this rotation right up improve. I think that's how we've decided to say it today. We might say it another way tomorrow. But this is kind of what we're focusing on right now. This is why they extended the warning into all of the counties that they extended it to just a minute ago. And I had someone asking me about Summerall. I think that this is definitely headed in that direction. So if you are still listening, I would definitely go ahead and get in that safe spot just in case, because this is looking like it's headed towards Summerall. I just had a few people asking about that in particular on Facebook, so I wanted to make note of it here while I'm not able to answer those comments. But this is kind of what we're focusing on, and like Patrick was saying, it's definitely got that hail core still attached to it, so that hail is falling over improve right now. I'm probably saying that wrong, so sorry, but it's right over New Union Road, about to go through Faithway Road. Bethel Church Road is another one that it's kind of headed towards. You guys are kind of getting the outskirts of it over here, but it's still 1/4 of an inch of hail reporting over there, and that's headed to Melba at this time. It might, I feel like that hail core is going to miss Summerall, but it's still kind of headed near you guys. The rotation is still definitely there. Just to be safe, I would definitely just consider getting in that safe spot just to be safe, because it is headed in that direction. It just got extended into all of these other counties, so we're just going to keep an eye on it as it continues to move off to the north and the east.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, this is this is not necessarily anything to mess around with. What I did was I opened up a 3D viewer of this storm here, and let me turn off the buttons here. I wanted to show you this. This right here kind of gives you a good example of the hail core inside the storm. So what we're seeing here is that bright purple. That is the hail that is currently lofted inside of that thunderstorm. It's on the north side of Columbia as we speak right now. And I'm going to pin this down, but you can see the hail that is sitting in the cloud right now waiting to fall, and this is going to be heading eventually towards Melba over the next few minutes, but it gives you a good idea. The hail is there. There is truly a hail core, and the hail is still lofted inside that thunderstorm. So even if it's not hailing at your location, say out towards Melba, it's there. It's over your head, and it's about to very soon. But we're seeing some bright highlighting here of the hail core towards Melba, and it's about to move over 42. So Melba, I think, is going to get the hail threat with this thunderstorm, but Summerall, you're in the line of the tornadic threat with this thunderstorm. And again, the area of rotation is sitting right here, just to the north and east of the improve. I want to zoom in just a little bit tighter here. I'm trying to get the streets to kind of pop up so we can see where we are. So we're talking about areas out here near Bethel Church Road, just to the south of Melba. Of course, that blue line, 42. Here's the fort just west of Summerall, where 42 goes off towards the north and west, and then 44 goes off towards the south and west towards Columbia. This will be coming out towards areas getting close to Summerall High School, which is in downtown, but the athletic stadium is on the west side. And then there are also some businesses out here as well. I know the Mexican restaurant at the intersection of 42 and 589, and then a couple of more businesses off towards the west. So we're still watching things very carefully. But again, hail is about to fall in Melba, but the rotation with it is on the south of that. and that could be heading directly towards the Summerall area. So if you live in Summerall, you need to go ahead and get into that interior-most room. So what are we talking about when we say that? Well, we're talking about getting away from any windows, so that safe spot. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. So here's what we're talking about. Get into that interior-most room, away from windows, away from any exterior walls. That'll provide you for protection from any flying debris. And if your house does not have that interior room, which would be, by the way, like a half bath or a closet, most houses, if they don't, they have that long hallway that forks off and goes to bedrooms and stuff like that. You would get in that long end of the hallway, close the doors, and put yourself away from the open end as far as you can. Pillows, helmets. The helmets are number one thing. Take your cell phone with you. Of course, most of us are glued to it now because we live our life on our cell phones. But we take your cell phone with you because if God forbid tornado hits your house, you can call for help. But you can also watch our stream. We're streaming right now on the WDAM 7 news app, the First Alert Weather app. You can watch my feed on Facebook, on my Facebook, on the station's Facebook. Basically, we're everywhere you are, minus short of coming to your house to give you the information that you desperately need right now. Also, put on some shoes. This is another big thing. Put on some shoes because God forbid if your house gets hit and you have to crawl out from damage, you don't want to step on broken glass or nails or stuff like that. So shoes offer you a little bit of protection, in the worst case scenario. But again, hail really starting to fall now in the city of Melba. Bright purple showing up on our radar, Southern Piezoelectric radar, showing that hail core right on top of Melba. And again, we're still watching that. Radar is still showing hail almost up to about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch in diameter, and that's about to move over Melba. And again, the hail product is a little bit delayed from the live sweeping radar, so it's a little bit behind it, but you get the idea. It's really more on top of Melba, but that one product has just a little bit of a delay to it. But the rotation's still there. I still think it's more of a hail core thing, but I'm not going to argue with the Weather Service. They're the ones in charge of doing this. They got a little bit fancier tools than we do, but we're still watching this. And I mean, indeed, this is definitely much tighter rotation than this storm that's out in Wayne County now, but still, this is nothing to mess around with. So the city of Summerall, you need to be into your safe spot. And I think this is going to just go north of Brawl Springs, but should it hold together, it could get a little bit closer to you. So let's go ahead and put a path on this. Still moving north at 40. Higgins by 623, Summerall at 627. Sanford at 639. This will make it to the Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport at 646. Eminence at 648. Oak Bowery at 651. And should this hold together, Union at 7. So at the top of the hour, if this holds together and makes it deep into Jones County, it would be getting near the Union community. Then one thing I always note where the airport is, because we're not too far away from that. We're on the other side of the interstate and the other side of Leaf River. So once it starts getting close, we'll have to start figuring out what we need to do. But I still think on this track, it may go just north of us. But we got plenty of time to figure out between now and 6:46. So that would be about 25 minutes before we would have to make that decision. A lot of time in the life of a thunderstorm. So we'll continue to monitor that. But the hail is continuing to fall across in Melba. Hannah is talking to some of you on Facebook, and she's typing in some of your responses. And we're doing our best to keep you safe and informed. But the heaviest hail with this thunderstorm right now falling near the Melba community. But again, tornado warnings are in effect. And even though we're talking about hail, this storm has a two-pronged approach. It is producing hail. It also can produce a tornado. And that's why there is a tornado warning in effect for this. So, Hannah, you're looking at some of the radar products right now. Are you seeing anything kind of new popping up with it?
Not anything new. I've noticed that they've canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Jones County. That was the latest update I've seen. And as far as looking at, I'm going to clear this up. This looks so messy. But as far as looking at the radar right now, I'm not really seeing anything new at this moment.
Okay. All right, so Hannah is watching things very carefully, and what I went ahead and did was while she was talking, I loaded up our Skycam. This is our Skycam. This is Petro Nissan. We're looking off towards the north and west, and look at the near continuous lightning with this thunderstorm. This is again our cameras in the part of Lamar County that is not officially under that tornado warning. It's out near Oak Grove, but we're looking towards the north and west towards Summerall. Nearly continuous lightning with this thunderstorm. Currently 73 degrees out there, a very humid night. And that's what these thunderstorms are feeding off of. The energy in the atmosphere, the moisture, a very humid night. There's a lot of energy in there, and that's what these thunderstorms are going to town on this evening. So we'll switch back over. And one thing that I noticed, Hannah, with this, I'm going to have to turn off the watches. But notice that thunderstorm, it's getting that classic, what we call screaming eagle appearance. So it's got good inflow coming into it. I think it's using it more on the hail side of the thunderstorm, but you can see the screaming eagle. Basically, it looks like an eagle landing, with its wings out, and it's about to grab something. The grabbing part would be, its feet, its claws would be the hook echo. But it's definitely a healthy thunderstorm, and the hail core has lasted with it for a little bit. We've been tracking the hail with this thunderstorm basically since it got going out near Kokomo. It started to really pick up, and we're seeing now that hail core continuing now into areas around Melba, and that's getting into very close to areas around that Lamar County, Jeff Davis County line there near 42. But the hail continuing to fall there. But you can see if anything, the hail value is going up because we're now starting to get some deep oranges with it, and that puts it well over the threshold of severe. And this track is going up. So this thunderstorm is really turning into a hail producer. But again, we're still watching for the area rotation with it. The rotation to me is not as strong as what I've seen earlier today with some of the thunderstorms, and especially with thunderstorms out in Alabama that were in East Alabama near my neck of the woods. But this is still rotating nonetheless. We're still watching it. And again, the rotation is now near the 42-44 split on the west side of Summerall. So if there is anything rotating, if there is anything tornadic with the storm, it's near that 42-44 split on the west side of Summerall. So if you're in Summerall, you need to be into your safe spot right now. This is a very dangerous storm. Not only does it have the potential for producing a tornado near Summerall, but it is definitely putting down some hail, and I think it's going to be out here towards the west near the Melba community of Jeff Davis County. But we're still watching things very carefully. 6:23, that is the current time with this storm, and the tornado warning is going to continue with this storm a little bit longer. But I wanted to kind of reset things. I wanted to show everybody who are not living in Melba or Summerall or areas around what's going on. So that one storm that had the severe thunderstorm warning on it is now weakening. It looks like they have now canceled that severe thunderstorm warning for both Jones and Wayne County. But look at the lightning with this thunderstorm. That is a ton of lightning right now, and it's a good indicator that this is probably the strongest storm that we've seen all day. It's definitely the strongest storm on radar at the moment. Nearly continuous lightning. In fact, there is so much lightning you can't even see what the storm looks like. So I'm gonna have to turn it off. I just can't deal with that anymore because look, the whole storm was covered up by lightning bolts, and you can see that purple starting to get brighter now. So we're definitely seeing that hail core continue, and this is moving off towards the north and towards the east at about 40 miles per hour. So basically areas, this will be coming into now, it looks like getting close to areas in southern Covington County. You need to go ahead and start getting into your safe spot. And you see more showers developing down towards the south of Hattiesburg. Nothing severe with those. The only thing that we're tracking that is severe is the one tornado warning that is capable of producing a tornado and is most likely producing large hail with this storm. Now, Hannah zoomed in on this. Hannah, are you seeing anything new coming out?
Not anything new. I'm just trying to take a look at some closer areas that it might be headed towards. Right now, the rotation is still near Summerall. That's kind of what I'm keeping an eye on at this time. Right over Highway 42 right now, and it looks like it's still headed kind of the same direction it was taking. I have a few people asking me about Seminary. I think this part of the storm, the rotating part, is going to go just below Seminary. I think is that correct, Patrick? Is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now.
That's as of right now, of course.
One thing I wanted to let you know, Hannah, is this. So Patsy Bruton said, Hannah, you did pronounce improve correctly.
Oh, yes.
We're doing something good right there. It's always nice to have compliments, and I'm thankful that you're watching and that we got it right. Because sometimes, South Mississippi names, they're hard to pronounce. But, we do the best we can and in times of crisis, and this is definitely one of them. But again, this storm, for all of you watching, this is going to go northwest of Hattiesburg. So I really doubt that unless this thing takes a hard right turn, which I just don't, I just can't see it. I mean, it would have to just veer. It'd be like that meme of the car where it's just turning on the exit. It would have to just skid towards Hattiesburg to really make a hard curve. This is really going to go north of Hattiesburg now, and I'm really getting a good indication of that. But Sanford, Seminary, Moselle, and eventually Ellisville heads up, because we're still seeing it right now as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. And hail is a big concern with this thunderstorm. Potential for tornado is as well. Now, if this thunderstorm impacts you and you get hail, after it passes and the lightning is, done, and you're not about to get hit by the tornado that's possibly within it, we would like to see some of that hail. If take a picture of your yard with hail in it, hold up a hailstone in your hand, just something that we can measure it with, and send it to us. We would definitely love to see it. You can send in your pictures or videos by opening up the WDAM7 First Alert Weather app. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. You'll be greeted by the button the size of your screen. You can't miss it. I guarantee it. You click that button, you can upload your video, you can upload your picture, and again, only do it if you can do it safely. I don't care to see it if you have to risk your life. It's just not that important. But if you can do it safely, I'd much rather see those, and that way we can get an idea, because we can only see so much on radar. We don't have that. We can't see what's going on at the ground. So a little bit of ground truth would definitely be nice. But that's the way you can get it to us, and we can see what's going on with it inside of these thunderstorms. But again, the hail core within the storm is really, it's impressive to me. And we talked about the potential for some of these thunderstorms having, transitioning away from the tornado threat, becoming big hail producers, and this is one of them. The Weather Service is being on, I think, is still on the cautious side with this, because there is rotation with it near the community of Sumrall. That's where the rotation is, but we don't. Normally, when we have a tornado warning, we're talking about either a tornado or we're talking about hail. It's not that we talk about both at the same time, but this storm is definitely producing hail, and it has potential for rotation near Sumrall. So we're seeing the hail core here, the rotation here, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east with this thunderstorm. But one thing I can do is turn on our shear product. We can see where some of the shear is. We'll turn on the track. We'll turn on the history with this. And the rotation has not been overly aggressive with it. I've definitely, as I've said, seen worse. But as you can see, it is weak rotation, but it is rotation nonetheless. And you can see it kind of stepping up as it moves its way. It's basically traveling along 44 right now. And that's going to be moving right into Summerall here within the next couple of minutes. But it is a very active storm. There's a ton of lightning with it as well. And some of the lightning with it is very, very aggressive. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at some of that lightning right now. We'll go ahead and look. So we're looking in Ellisville. The camera, I think, is still pointed off towards the east from where I had it parked earlier. Currently 66 degrees out there. Heavy rain earlier. Things are quiet there at the moment. We'll head out to Petro Nissan. This is pointed north and west. So we're looking back out towards areas near King Road, out near the Trace subdivision and areas like that, and look at all of the lightning we're seeing with this at the moment. And again, sometimes it's almost comical, because we were trying to see something with lightning. It's lightning like crazy. We put it on TV, and hardly nothing happens. So we're seeing a few flashes, but definitely this storm is producing a tremendous amount of lightning at the moment. And again, that makes sense because it is tornadic and also producing hail. Although I will say the hail core, it appears, is not as robust as it was, say, about 10 to 20 minutes ago, but we're still watching it nonetheless at the moment. A lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. And Hannah, are you seeing anything new coming out so far?
Not so far.
Not
I'm
so
just
far.
taking a look on kind of the closer side of things to see. Some people are asking about like more specific locations, roads, stuff like that. So I'm just trying to give a little path on it for them right now.
Okay.
And I've just found the road that someone was asking about, so kind of proud of that. But that's all I'm seeing so far.
Okay.
Nothing new as of right now. Did you might have made note of this because it was a few minutes ago, but they continued the severe thunderstorm watch until 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. I was not listening, to be honest. I didn't know if you said it or not.
Yep. I
So I
mean,
just
there's
wanted
a
to make
lot
sure.
that goes on.
There's a lot going on.
You're in your world, and it's also hard too because again, we're in a temporary studio. There is
Right.
literally a glass wall between me and Hannah. It's like looking through a house to where Hannah is. Hannah's in a different side of the building, so it's not like we're standing next to each other talking. There is literally something dividing us, and so sometimes it is a little bit hard to hear if our earpiece is not loud, or if we're in the zone. That can happen. But again, we're still watching that area of rotation near Summerall. A lot of lightning with this thunderstorm, and I was just checking to see if I had anything on Facebook. I don't have any messages coming in of any hail. But I also didn't really get that in depth because I was only checking during the time that Hannah was talking. So if you do have any hail pictures, send it in. Open up the First Look Weather app, scroll to the bottom, press that button. You can send it in that way. And if you send it in that way, I don't have to go back and forth with you to do the legal stuff of can we get permission, blah, blah, blah. When you send it to us through the app, we get permission to use it automatically. So it kind of cuts down on that a little bit. But we're still watching this right now. A lot of lightning out towards 589. The hail core with it is now north of Summerall. It's in the portion of 589. That's getting ready to cross over the river between Seminary and Summerall. So this will be the Bowie River. And it's right on top of that bridge right now. So it's probably some hail falling at the Bowie River Bridge on 589 in Covington County. Again, a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm at the moment. And this is moving off from the west towards the east moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. The rotation still very broad to me. I'm not seeing any kind of real big real tighten. It's not tightening up really that much. So it's still a broad rotation, and I really still think that the rotation with this is still more of the rotating hail core, because any storm that hail is rotating. That's how the air travels up with enough speed to loft up a hailstone. So I'm really feeling like that's a little bit more. But again, the Weather Service is erring on the side of caution. And because of that, we're going to do the same thing. And again, this tornado warning still remains in effect for portions of the counties until 7:15. So at 7:15, that's when this warning will expire, should they, pending if they continue on with it or not. But we're still watching that rotation. Again, the rotation is near Summerall, near the 42-589 interchange. So this will be now moving just to the east of Summerall. And again, not very tight. It's not anything that's screaming to me that this is a problem or it's about to touch down. It's definitely not. If anything, the storm is screaming, I'm producing hail to me. It's definitely got a bigger hail signature with it than the rotation that we're tracking. But 6:45, it'll be coming into areas right around Sanford. So it'll be crossing. So if we do a little bit of math, I would say around 6:40, it'll be crossing 49. It'll come over to Sanford around 6:45, 6:52 near the Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport. Let's just basically round it to 7 o'clock in Moselle. And then I think this is going to go just to the north of Union, but our map popped it up nonetheless. Union at 7:04. So we're still watching this right now, and everything continues to move up towards the north and east. But again, as I said earlier, regardless on whether this storm is producing a tornado or hail, or whether downstream, whether it continues as a tornado warning storm, you're still going to get the impacts from this storm. You're still, if you're living in Ellisville at around 7:04, 7:05, you're still going to get a ton of lightning with it. You're still going to get a ton of rain. So regardless of whether this storm continues to produce hail or continues to the tornado warning, you still got to deal with it. In terms of a heavy thunderstorm with a lot of lightning. So, now's the time to unplug some of those electronics. If you don't want to worry about them or you don't have a surge protector, you got time to do that because you're still going to face that. You're still got to deal with all this lightning back here towards the west, which is still a lot. Basically, Summerall out towards Bassfield, all these areas that we were talking about earlier are still getting just a ton of lightning with this thunderstorm as everything again continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. And should this hold together, which I think the thunderstorm will, whether its components do is the big question, whether it's tornadic, whether it's hail producing, it still will make it to areas around Laurel, probably about 7:10, 7:15. So we're still going to watch it on that pace as well. So again, a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain still heading your way, whether the Weather Service decides to keep this tornadic or tornado warned or severe thunderstorm warned, or whether it goes below limits, you're still got to deal with all of the heavy activity that's ongoing across the area. Now, notice Hannah is looking at things right now. Are you seeing anything new or anything new coming out of chat at the moment?
Nothing new at the moment. The last thing they said, that's not for us. Yeah, the last thing they did was continue the severe thunderstorm watch for our area.
Okay.
That's the last thing I'm seeing. I'm just kind of trying to keep an eye on it. Same
Okay.
way you are, pretty much.
Okay.
Not really seeing anything new.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new coming out of the Weather Service chat. And sometimes these kind of things, no new news is good news.
True.
It at least means things are status quo, but it still means that, areas are tornado warned. And again, the rotation, while not crazy, it's still credible at the moment. And basically that area of rotation now to the north and east of Summerall. And I would say, let's see, it's about 3 or 4 miles northeast of Summerall. So it's getting close to crossing the Bowie River, and that'll eventually be coming into Sanford. And on that track, I think it's pretty safe to say this is going to go north of the TV station. So I'm not necessarily worried about us needing to do anything with this storm. But still, areas around Sanford, out towards Rainey, Shelton, exit 78, which is... I think it's Sanford Road, by the way. You're still in the path, and all that would be between now and 7 o'clock. So we're still watching this nonetheless. And again, Moselle, you're going to be on pretty much in the path. So exit 80, with the chevron, the Keefe chevron, you need to be in your safe spot. Eventually, this will be coming up. And what's on the other side of the interstate is the cooperative energy power plant, and I know the chicken plant's up there as well, the processing plant. So some of those areas will have to be getting ready to take their safety precautions very soon. Again, you've got about 10 minutes before it'll be near your location. But again, this is very obvious. This is now going to completely miss Hattiesburg, and it's going to miss Hattiesburg probably by about 10 to 15 miles. So Hattiesburg, you're here, and this is going to go, by the way, north of Forest County. So I'm not worried about really any big impacts either for Raw Springs. Even though you're officially still under the tornado warning, the rotation is now in Covington County, and it's moving northeast. So it's going to go, if anything, a little bit further away from you. But we're still watching it nonetheless. Areas in Lamar County, I can go ahead and give you the all clear south and west of Summerall. We're still tracking that hail core, which is crossing the river now. The rotation is just to the south of the river, between the Bowie River and between 42. And it's continuing to move off towards the north and towards the east at 40 miles per hour. Let me look at it in terms of reflectivity once again. This would be what we would call a true supercell because you do see the hook. You can see where the hook is kind of back towards here. The area of rotation is crossing the river, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. But I think that this is more of a hell producer, if anything, because you can definitely see the pink still with this storm as it gets ready to come over towards the Sanford community of southeastern Covington County, as everything moves off towards the north and east. But eventually this will be getting ready to cross into Jones County, West Jones County near 590, and that would be just to the south of Oak Bowery, and eventually getting close to the Moselle area as well. 6:40 is the current time. Let's go ahead and I want to do this. Let's go ahead and kind of reset, and I want to show you everybody else what's going on here across the area. So severe thunderstorm watch goes in effect until midnight. They'll probably cancel that for our counties before then. It just depends on how things goes over the next couple of hours, and we'll take a little bit of a wider stance here. We're still watching severe weather off towards our south and towards the west. So let me turn on the Fort Polk, Louisiana radar, and that way we can see a little bit of what's going on in Louisiana. So we got some more redevelopment over here just to the west and south and west of Natchez. We got some more cells developing across Baton Rouge. And again, these will have to continue to move to the northeast, and they'll move into our area later on this evening. But again, the atmosphere is transitioning from a tornadic threat to a hail wind threat. We're losing a lot of the spin in the atmosphere. It just so happens that this one storm is strong enough to get any amount of spin it can do, and it's working with what it has. But this is going to be the exception, not the norm, for the rest of tonight. I don't really see things staying tornadic with this all night long, but this one cell, it's just taking with what it can get, and it's working with what it can get in kind of a low end environment. But still, it is rotating out here this evening, and the rotation it's a little bit tighter now out here towards the Sanford community, so it's getting a little bit smaller. That's a sign that the storm kind of wrapping itself up a little bit. I'm gonna look over at debris. I'm not seeing any signs of any debris at the moment. That's some good news. Let's hope it stays that way. But we're definitely still watching it this evening as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. Now, the one thunderstorm that we had earlier that moved over towards Wayne County is starting to fall apart. That's good news, but we're still stuck with this one thunderstorm here, and basically it's now in Covington County, and that's about to move into western Jones County at the moment. Are you seeing anything new that's it's starting to come out of Weather Service chat or anything, Hannah?
Not for our area.
Not for our area, okay. Again, TV and Weather Service chat and Weather Service jurisdictions, our areas are different. They have a much larger area to work with, and so we have to kind of filter through. Like I'm looking at stuff on chat now for Kemper, Noxubee County, obviously way out of our viewing area, but the Weather Service still has to cover that for their jurisdiction. So, we're still watching things at the moment. And sometimes you got to filter through everybody else's stuff to figure out to find what you're looking at here. But again, I'm not seeing any new signs of anything with this tornado warning storm, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. Now, Hannah, can you list off a couple of locations that'll be coming into the path? Maybe put a path cast on things and kind of walk people through, when this will be coming through their community.
Yeah, how fast is it going again?
It is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour.
Okay, it'll take me just a second.
All right, no problem. By the way, she has to type that in so the computer will know how fast it's moving. So it takes a little bit of a second. It's not as automated as you really think it is. We still have to type in a couple of numbers, but the computer does a pretty good job. And Hannah does a good job because she's already got it basically done. So Hannah, walk us through this.
I gotta put this. I gotta put the speed in.
Okay.
It was 35?
40.
40. Oh, okay, it's already in. Look at us. Okay. So some of the areas that might be in this path, as it takes this same path, right now it's looking at 652 for Sanford, 658 for the Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport, 704 for Moselle, 709 Union, 715 Ellisville, And I saw people talking about the elementary school earlier. I don't know if you're talking about West Jones, but if you were talking about West Jones Elementary, 7:18 is your time that this storm will reach you. Calhoun 7:21, Laurel 7:26. I had a lot of people asking me about Laurel, so if this does continue its same path, this is what we're going to be looking at. 7:26 for Laurel, 7:30 for Powers, and 7:34 for Myrick. So that is the path that it is taking right now. That is where it is headed as of this moment. And if this does hold together for that long, that is kind of the times that it will be reaching you. And I can put this path up there just one more time, just so you can see it. If you missed it, this is the path track for this storm as of right now, if it holds together. So if it holds together for about another hour, Myrick 7:30, Shady Grove 7:25, Laurel 7:22. That's some of the areas that I've kind of been seeing on Facebook and kind of some of the areas that you guys have been asking me about. But again, 6:55 for the Hattiesburg Laurel Regional Airport, 7:01 for Moselle, 7:12 for Ellisville, and 7:22 for Laurel. And that's kind of some of the areas that it will be impacting if it holds together for that long, of course.
All right, so good job with that, Hannah. And we're still watching things right now. I'm waiting to see. I just asked a question in Weather Service chat, so I'm waiting to see if they answer. It has been a few minutes since we've seen.
They canceled the tornado warning for Forrest, Jeff Davis, and Lamar.
All right, so they're continuing it now for they're continuing the tornado warning for Covington and Jones. So they have now trimmed out Forrest and Lamar counties, as well as Jeff Davis. This is now just a 2-county thing. So what I want to do, I want to turn off that watch. So let me click on here. I'm going to click tidy up, and boom, the watch goes away. And I'm going to turn off the radar so we can see just who still remains under this tornado warning. So we're talking about Sanford. We're talking about Lux. We're talking about Seminary. Obviously, we're still talking about Moselle, Oak Bowery, and basically, I would say everybody west of Ellisville in Jones County, you're still under this tornado warning. So basically, Ellisville is the furthest east point, and it includes areas to the south and towards the west. But as you can see now, no longer includes Sumrall, so all clear for Lamar County portion of Sumrall, and for the Hattiesburg area around. Basically, if you live in Forest County, you're fine. This is going to completely miss Forest County by a good distance. So we're still tracking everything at the moment, but hail continues to fall. Areas around Sanford at the moment, 590, everything moving off towards the north and towards the east. This will be, so the hail core with it is near Sanford. So it's near Old Highway, or near Highway 598. It's near Sanford, and this will be getting ready to cross Bethel Church Road, areas around Sanford Road, and getting close to Moselle Seminary Road, and moving off towards the west. Shirley Sanford Road, you'll have to watch this one as well, and Stringer Road too. So basically, in this area of Covington County and western Jones County, you'll have to watch for hail. We can still see some of the pink here on radar, so we're still seeing the possibility of some hail with this thunderstorm, although I have not seen a lot of reports of from you, the viewer, reporting hail. So that's a little bit of good news. Hopefully it stays that way. But if there is some good news with it, is that the hail signature has really started to come back down. So you can see probably where we had the highest likelihood of hail was basically when it passed just to the north of Improve and just to the south and west of Sumrall to the south of Melba. And then now we're starting to see it come back down the scale, back to a smaller size once it goes darker blue out towards the 49 corridor. So a little bit of good news there. Maybe the hail core is, kind of really fell to the ground, and we're still watching things carefully. The area of rotation with it, definitely not as robust as it was earlier, but the Weather Service is going to continue with this for a little bit. So we're still tracking this one severe thunderstorm, which is capable of producing a tornado. The rotation right now sitting on top of Sanford and still moving off towards the north and east. So Moselle, it'll be coming towards you near the top of the hour, near 7 o'clock. Eventually, this will be coming into areas to the west of Ellisville, near Oak Bowery. This will be coming very close to 590, where it crosses the Leaf River Bridge, probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And eventually, should this hold together, could be coming going into areas around Ellisville. But we're still seeing a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the sky cam in Ellisville. And Thomas, who's in the control room, can you go ahead and blow this up full real fast so I can walk over here to the other computer, the joys of a temporary studio, and move the camera around. Normally that would be in front of me. And when we go to our new studio, it'll be back in front of me. But, you got to work with what you have sometimes. And that's how we all get through life. I'm going to spin this back off towards the west. So I wanted to take a look and see what we're seeing with this thunderstorm. It's going to take a minute before the camera responds to the request. But everything is still, we're still seeing a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. It's now pointing off towards the west. It's about to start moving here. So we're looking off towards the west. We're seeing a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. And again, whether this storm remains tornado warning past this warning's expiration time, or not, you're still going to have to deal with the heavy rain. You're still going to have to deal with the lightning. And obviously, we're not seeing much. We can see some of the light there from Ellisville. That's what that little bit of glow is there off to the horizon or from near the interstate. But that's really about it. That's all that I'm really seeing out there at the moment. So we're still watching. And Thomas, you can go ahead and come back to me here in the weather cube. But we're still watching this storm very carefully. And again, rotation with it, it's not the strongest rotation that I've seen, not definitely by a long shot. I've seen tighter stuff in Alabama today, but it's still there. And notice the hail core with it is starting to come down. That's some good news. So we're starting to see the hail threat come down with it a little bit. And this rotation with it is definitely not as strong as it was, say, about 10 to 15 minutes ago. But it's still there. It's still a little tight as we take a live look. The tightest rotation right now on top of the community of Sanford. So this is on 598. This is on 598 near Walter Lott Road, Old Highway 49, and Sanford Road. So right here on the extreme southeastern side of Covington County near the Sanford community. That's where the rotation is. Eventually, this will be making its way up towards Bethel Church Road, Riles Road, Daltrey Road, and eventually Moselle Seminary Road. As well as this continues to move off towards the north and east. Now, if you live west of 49, you're fine. The threat is over for you in terms of the tornado. You can come out of your safe spot now, but you still got a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain. It's going to be very noisy for a little while longer because this thunderstorm is still producing a good bit of activity. But notice the lightning when it was earlier off towards the west, when it was coming through Marion County, it was just almost hidden by under all the lightning, and we're starting to see some of that lightning come down. So the storm is definitely weakening in terms of three indications, in terms of the amount of reflectivity we see with it, how purple the storm is with hail. The rotation is not that strong, and then the lightning is definitely coming down. There's not as much lightning as it was, say, an hour ago. And this is still moving off towards the north and east. So Ellisville, you're still under the gun with this. Again, whether it's tornado warned, whether they continue the tornado warning, which I'm not sure that they're going to do, but again, they're the ones who have to make that decision. Whether they continue that or not, or they go with a severe thunderstorm warning or not, you still got to deal with the heavy rain. You still got to deal with the lightning. So you still got to deal with this thunderstorm regardless. But we're still watching it as everything continues to move off towards the north and east. And again, this is the only storm in town that we're watching in terms of anything severe in our viewing area of the Pine Belt. You can see the severe thunderstorm warning in the yellow, which I just turned off. This is it. This is the only storm that we're watching at the moment. There are a couple of other storms out here towards Baton Rouge and Natchez, but things are very few and far between. This is the only storm that we're monitoring at the moment as it continues to move north and east at about 40 miles per hour. But it is getting closer to I-59, and we're going to continue to keep a close eye on it over the next little bit. But a lot of lightning now showing up at our sky cam in Ellisville. It's now is flashing pretty good out there. And let's go ahead and I'm going to loop back around to it. It's going to take a second for it to load up, but 66 degrees. Look at all the continuous lightning with it. You see the bright, the illumination of the sky out there. 66 degrees. Jones College in Ellisville. Winds are calm at the moment, but a plethora of lightning showing off on the horizon. Can't really see much here with this sky cam, so let's do this. Let's head up the road to Laurel. This camera is looking off towards the south, I do believe. So we're looking off towards the south. So if with this storm, it would be over here towards the south and towards the west. Again, water on the lens, but I'm not seeing as much lightning with it at the moment. But we're still watching things nonetheless. And again, a lot of activity here across the area this evening. But again, it's just this one thunderstorm that we're currently watching here across the Pine Belt as it moves off towards the north and east. Now, Hannah, you're taking a little bit, you're looking at things. Are you seeing anything new coming out with this storm, or are you seeing anything on your side?
Not anything different than what you're saying. At the moment, just lots of lightning, and we've had a lot of people talking about how much lightning they've been seeing at their house with this storm in particular, and it's getting pretty crazy out there. That's only really new. That's not even new. The new thing I've noticed, I guess, new to me, but that's all that I've noticed right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep an eye on it, but National Weather Service doesn't say anything else. Nothing for our area.
Okay. I'm looking to see any kind of reports that I'm seeing are outside of our viewing area. That's
Right.
out in Leake County. You know, that's away from us, and Concordia, Louisiana, Concordia Parish, Adams County, Mississippi. Again, that's away from us. That's the areas around Natchez. I'm just not seeing anything in our weather service chat. Slidell's chat's talking about how much energy is still in the atmosphere, and that's what's feeding these thunderstorms. Still high values of energy left in the atmosphere. And I'm looking over here, again, I'm not seeing anything new coming out of NWS Jackson, which has control of this. So they're watching it, but they're also watching a couple other storms at the moment too, as everything moves off towards the north and east. But again, we're still watching this storm. But the storm itself, to me, it looks like it's starting to weaken in terms of, well, I say that, but the rotation is brightened up again, so we'll have to see with that. Overall, the appearance of the storm is weakened from its earlier appearance, but the rotation is starting to look a little bit brighter. Not seeing any signs of debris with that, so that's some good news. But again, the rotation a little bit brighter now, just to the north and east of Sanford, out towards Bethel Church Road near Riles Road. This would be where the area of rotation is with this one thunderstorm as it continues to move off towards the north and towards the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. This is, again, this is going north now of Moselle, in terms of Moselle that's south of the interstate, but Moselle west of the interstate is going through that part. So Moselle Seminary Road, Rainy Road, and eventually this may be heading up towards the Ellisville area. And again, we've been on the air with this one supercell for about just over an hour and 15 minutes now, as it's tracked in from Kokomo. It's tracked across. All right, so they've now dropped the severe thunder, or they dropped the tornado warning for Covington County, and they're now saying this is solely a Jones County issue. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to redraw it because the storm has moved on me since then. But this is now moving into Jones County. So this will be coming over towards Rainey at 7 o'clock. Exit 85, which is Ellisville State Schools exit at 7:12. The city of Ellisville at 7:17. I think this is going to go west. This is going to go south of West Jones Elementary, which is right here. But it officially made it into the into the path, so that's why it showed up. Calhoun at 7:22 and Lanham at 7:24. But basically, this could become, if it continues on this current track, an Ellisville issue, and beyond that, it could become a Laurel issue. I'm looking, Hannah, are they saying anything new, or they just kind of put out the new information as they redrew the polygon?
Yeah, they just put out that they discontinued the warning.
Okay.
That's all I'm seeing.
Okay, and again, we're both looking at things, so as you notice, the rotation, it's still there, but it's going through these phases where it looks really impressive and then it doesn't. And then it looks really impressive and then it doesn't. That's called cycling. That's what we see in a lot of cells, especially supercells down here in Mississippi. That's sometimes why they'll keep tornado warnings on them longer than probably, a lot of viewers would like, because there's the chance that the storm could cycle. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. But the rotation with it is now wholly in Jones County. It's completely made it across Covington County. So we're now in Jones County now. And the tornado warning continues until 7:15. Basically, if you live on the north side of Moselle along 590, you need to be into your safe spot. Basically, Moselle to 590 is the area that I'm more worried about. But you can definitely see the rotation as it sits here now, just to the south and towards the west of Ellisville. And we'll zoom back in. It's getting ready to cross the Leaf River pretty soon, and it's going to do that at Moselle Seminary Road. So Moselle Seminary Road, out here, Monroe Road. This is where that tree fell on that car earlier this evening. Again, this is almost to. This is almost to Seminary. It's about halfway between.
By the way,
yes.
About the tree and the car, nobody was injured and the car is still drivable. I just wanted to let you know because Michael came in here and told me a minute ago.
Okay, that's good. It seemed pretty bad, but if the car is still drivable, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That means they get to go home. So, and the car got to go home too, although it may have a little bit of damage with it. It's still drivable, so it's still usable. All right, so we're still watching things. It's 7 o'clock. We're now coming up to the top of the hour. Again, you're watching WDAM 7, NBC, ABC Bounce, Laurel, Hattiesburg, and around the world on WDAM7.com, and we're probably streaming on your phone because that's where most people watch us these days when we have severe weather, and you can do so too if you're not doing that. You can watch us on our WDAM7 News app, the WDAM7 First Alert Weather app, and on Facebook, our Roku channel, our Amazon Fire TV channel, and the Apple TV channel. Basically, we're everywhere you are, short of broadcasting from your living room to get you the information that you need. And that's the way it needs to be, because you got to have several ways. If you lose internet, you still got TV. If you lose TV, you still got internet. That way you can get the message regardless. And some of you have to watch us from your safe spot, which is, it's going to be hard to pull a TV in there, especially since you'll probably have to pull it off the wall. And that way your phone, it just travels with you, and you can keep updated with everything going on. All right, so here's the latest that we have with the storm. We're seeing the area of rotation now just to the south of 590. It'll be crossing over the Leaf River here in about probably 5 minutes. It'll come up to areas around Ellisville near 7:15. And Jones College by 7:15 as well. Of course, Ellisville and Jones College are right there, so it's going to show up basically at the identical time. But you get what we're trying to say. We're seeing this area of rotation. It's getting ready to cross over 590, and that'll eventually be coming up towards Ellisville. But we will come up to a time where the Weather Service is going to have to make a decision to continue this warning. And what's going to happen, this warning is coming up to its limit. They can't continue it past 7:15. If they want to, they're going to have to reissue it. And so that would have to be a completely new warning. We're not seeing any signs of that yet, but we're still watching things carefully. But again, let me see. I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see if I have anything new coming in here at the moment. I don't. Circulation has been at its best over the last 10 minutes, but the cell is losing some of the depth and structure, and that would be from Chad. And it sounds like Chad is watching us from the situational room at the Weather Service in Jackson. So hello to Weather Service Jackson, who are apparently watching us on WDAM.com. So hello to y'all this evening. But yes, we're still watching it right now. And again, I have not seen a lot of reports. I have not been able to go through my phone a lot, but I will look over this, but I have not seen a lot of reports of hail, and that was some good news. The way the storm was looking earlier, it was definitely had a hail core to it, but apparently it was not reaching the ground, or it was melting before it got there. But we're still watching it nonetheless. But I would have to agree. If anything, this rotation has really started to tighten up over the last 5 to 10 minutes. And, it's definitely, it's not looking like bright, wide area. It's starting to tighten up. It's becoming bright in a narrow spot. And that's much more of a tornadic signature with this. So we're still watching it. The area of rotation now getting ready to cross over the Leaf River near I-59, just about a mile or so north of I-59. It's going to actually do so. It's going to cross the Leaf River at Moselle Seminary Road. And then it will be heading into the southwest side of Ellisville. So let's go ahead and load up our Skycam again. We're watching from Ellisville. I don't expect to see much with this storm. A, it's rain wrapped, and B, it's dark, but we are seeing a lot of lightning out there this evening, 67 degrees. And notice there is the lightning that we're seeing. And again, I'm not seeing anything outside of the cloud deck. We saw a nice lightning strike there on the horizon, but with it being dark, it's going to be hard to see any kind of rotating wall cloud, any kind of funnel cloud, unless something is just right there. It's going to be hard to see. And by the way, right here, there's a bank of trees. So, if you look, it's kind of fuzzy at the horizon. That's trees. There's a bunch of trees right here when we look off towards the west. So we're watching it. We're seeing a lot of lightning, but outside of that, there's not really a lot of intelligence that I can gather from that. But we're definitely, I got it on this computer over here. So if anything starts looking suspicious, we can definitely look at that as well. A lot of heavy rain falling with this thunderstorm. We'll have to see what the Weather Service decides to do. They're coming up here. Decision time is very soon with what's going on with them. So they're going to have to do something here within the next 10 minutes. So decision time is now. They're mulling over what they're going to do, whether they're going to continue downstream, go severe thunderstorm warning on it, or put a new tornado warning out. We'll know that answer here in about within the next 9 minutes. But they are doing. They are making that decision right now because it is getting close to the expiration time with this tornado warning. But again, the area of rotation, it's sitting near the Leaf River, and should this hold together, it'll be coming into areas around Ellisville at around 7:15, Jones College 7:17, and it'll eventually come into the south side of Laurel. Exit 90 is the Pendorf community, the Laurel Airport at 7:25, and the actual downtown area of Laurel by 7:30. So this is what we're doing is I'm showing you communities down the line, way past the warning, because the warning cuts off before Ellisville. But this will eventually, regardless of whether it stays tornadic or not, everybody in this path will have to face this thunderstorms in either terms of heavy rain or gusty winds or a lot of lightning. And that's what this storm is producing. I hear the train passing by the TV station. Just heard the horn because it's getting ready to cross Ben Thompson Road. And how ironic. We're dealing with a tornado warning not too far away from the TV station, and we hear the actual train come by. So how about that? But there's all the communities in the path. We got Ellisville showing up here, Pendorf, Laurel, Tucker's Crossing eventually too, should this hold together. But this thunderstorm definitely producing a lot of lightning, and it still has that area of rotation with it. And man, I mean, that thing is, as I've been saying, the rotation has at times been trash. It has at times been trash rotation, but to me,
It just keeps recycling in a way.
It is cycling. I can truly say I believe that it is cycling because it definitely does not look like trash right now. It's actually some very healthy looking rotation. So right at the bridge of Moselle Seminary and the Leaf River, that's where we're seeing some of the tightest rotation with this thunderstorm. And again, this eventually will be getting close to the interstate, and I think it's going to cross the interstate probably about a mile, probably about 2 miles. Let's go ahead and say about 2 miles north of exit 80, which is Moselle. So there's the Keith gas station here. The power plant is right here. The chicken processing plant is here. And then this right here is I-59, and then exit So here's Jones College. So this is exit 87, exit 85. Ellisville State School is sitting here. Jones College is sitting right there. So that's kind of give you a little bit of bearings. And by the way, this blue line is 590. So it's getting ready to cross over the interstate. I say it's going to do so about 2 or 3 miles north of exit 80. So basically between exit 80 and exit 87, just go ahead and stay off because that's where it's sitting at right now. And there's the exit markers that are popping up here. I wanted to zoom in a little bit tighter so you can see where they are. So there's exit 80, exit 85. Eventually exit 90 as well as it goes to the north side of Laurel. But the rotation is there. I'm looking on debris. I'm not seeing any signs of debris. I'm just seeing noise, which is good news. Don't want to see any debris signatures, but definitely it's trying something. It's definitely looking pretty tight. So the Weather Service is saying they are going to go with a new tornado warning, and I'm not surprised by that. If you would have said that 10 minutes ago, I would have said, but no, this is definitely tightening up. It's definitely looking much healthier. So new tornado warning forthcoming for areas of Jones County. This is going to be areas around, most likely it's going to be Ellisville, Laurel, Tucker's Crossing, and Myrick. In fact, there it pops up, right as I said so. There is the new warning. So there is a new severe thunderstorm or new tornado warning now for central Jones County. This will officially now include Ellisville, Johnson, Glade, Laurel, Powers, Myrick. So all of these areas now, you are under the gun for severe weather here, and there it is. It just literally popped up. We're tracking it at the moment, and it is moving off towards the north and east. So, Hannah, do you have the new information with the warning pulled up on your side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. For Jones County till 8:15, a severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado was located near Moselle, near Ellisville, moving northeast at 30.
Okay, so it's moving now northeast at 30.
Yes.
All right, so it is starting to slow down just a little bit, but it's definitely there, and it goes until 8:30, correct? Is that what I heard?
8:15.
8:15. Okay, so it's moving northeast at 8:15. I will definitely say conditions going downhill at our Skycam at Jones College. In fact, let's go ahead and pull that up. So let's head out to Ellisville. And again, Ellisville, you need to go ahead and get into your safe spot right now. You should have been there about 10 minutes ago, but now this is it. The bell's ringing. This is final call. Get into your safe spot now if you're in Ellisville because the rotation is definitely tightening up. And it's moving closer towards the area. And as you can see, low clouds with this thunderstorm. It's hard to kind of picture it, but if you kind of just freeze frame your mind here with every lightning flash, you can kind of get the picture. We're definitely seeing a low base with this. Again, we're looking off towards the west. A lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. And again, at times the rotation has been trashed with this thunderstorm, but it is definitely looking much healthier over the last 15 to 20 minutes. And I would say this is probably the tightest the rotation has been with this thunderstorm all afternoon as it continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. So definitely something to watch. And I'm noticing now too, I don't know if it's just me and how my eyes are kind of looking at things or whether it's not, but you can kind of see a bright spot here. You can see a bright spot here. And I'm wondering if we're starting to see a lowering here with the clouds. Again, it's hard to tell because when we look west, we have to deal with some trees that are making things, it's kind of clouding your vision. And again, it's dark. So, you have to kind of paint the picture very quickly in your mind, every little lightning flash. So it's hard to kind of figure things out, but we're definitely seeing.
I see what you're seeing.
You see what I'm seeing?
I see it.
Yeah. It definitely looks kind of like almost a wall cloud getting near the camera location. Hannah, I'm looking over at your monitor because I got it up over here on the camera. I'm looking at yours. How far away is it from Jones College?
Let me
see.
It'll take me a second.
Yeah. The rotation is getting ready to cross at, it's only what? Yeah, that should be good.
Okay. 7:19 for Jones College.
So it's only about 5 minutes away. So that would only be about a couple of miles. So,
Yes.
I mean, it definitely piques my attention here with it. We're still watching it right now. And again, this is what we're looking at. Thomas, let's go ahead and blow this up full for a moment. Just go ahead and take max 1 full whenever you get a chance. Thank you, sir. Again, you can kind of see what I'm looking at. You see the two bright spots. It almost looks like there's a lowering on the left side of the screen. But again, it's hard to paint the picture when you only get a flash of lightning every couple of milliseconds. So it's hard to paint that picture of what's going on here. But I'm noticing I'm gonna slowly just pan this camera off towards the west, but we're seeing continuous lightning with this thunderstorm at the moment. And again, everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east at about 30 miles an hour. I'm looking about where it should be. If there's going to be anything, I'm looking very close to the location. We're definitely seeing a lowering in the sky, a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm at the moment, but I'm not seeing any kind of like funnels associated with this. Hannah, are you seeing anything in the flashes of lightning that I'm not seeing? This is going to be a long shot anyway, but if there is anything, we're looking at it at the moment. This is where it's going to be in the storm. If it was still daylight, we would have a pretty good visual in this storm, but it's really hard when you only get a couple of flickers. And by the way, there's some cars. Actually, that's the train that just went by, I think, or a couple of cars. I know the railroad is very close to Jones College. I think that is the train.
It's back here too.
How cool is that? But yeah. All right, so I got distracted there. There was my ADHD moment. So now I'm looking off towards, we're still looking off towards the west. We still have that lowering here with the camera. I'm going to pan this back off towards the east very slowly. And I'm going to pan this off back a little bit towards the north, excuse me. So we're panning this back off towards the north. I'm still looking to see if I see anything, and I'm just not seeing it. So again, this is going to be a long shot, but we're still watching it currently as it moves off towards the north and towards the east at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Continuous lightning with this thunderstorm. If we see anything...
Is this the tree line?
Yeah, I think that's the tree line. I noticed what you're seeing as well.
Towards the left.
Towards the left. Let me pan it over to the left. I know what you're seeing. I don't think it is. I don't think it's anything. I think it's just the tree line. We're getting close to where the pole would be on the camera, so I can't turn it too much further around. Yeah, that's the tree line. You can clearly see where the tree line is right
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. Good eye, though, because I was noticing the same thing, but, second pair of eyes definitely helps things on a night like this. So that's what our camera looks like out there. So what I'm going to do now, Thomas, you can come on and come back to me. I'd rather come back to the map because I'm not seeing anything, impressive enough that would help the situation. So we'll just come back over here and look at it on radar. Velocity with this now, the rotation is on top of Ellisville State School. It is at exit, it is near exit 85, so it's right on top of our camera. So again, if it was anything, it's there. It's on top of where our camera is at the moment. And we were looking off towards the west with this area of rotation. And there's Highway 11. The railroad tracks parallel Highway 11. So that's, I think, where the train was that we were looking at. And then Jones College sits here. And then everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. So Ellisville, South Jones High School, Jones College, y'all should have been in your safe spots about 10 minutes ago, but this is it. It's on top of you now, and this is as serious as it gets. So the rotation, it's right at exit 85 on I-59 and continuing to move off towards the north and towards the east. So it's moving over Ellisville at the moment. So Ellisville, you need to be in your safe spot the next few places down the road. Eventually, this will be coming up close to Pendorf, the exit 90 area. It'll be coming up towards Glade, Tucker's Crossing, Lower Myrick Road, Mill Creek, and I think this is going to go on the south side of Laurel. But it's still going to get those areas pretty close. So it'll be coming up to Jenkins at 7:24, Pecan Grove at 7:25, Glade at 7:30. Exit 96 and 97. That's right around the. It's near the S curve in Laurel, near South Central Regional. So that would be exit 97. I do know is Chantilly, and 84 East. And then you see areas around 737 Powers, Myrick at 739, and Urata by 742. So we're still watching this one storm as it continues to move off towards the north and towards the east this evening. And the rotation with it definitely still there. It's definitely still rotating. And again, and I'm still looking at it at the moment, and everything continues to move up towards the north and towards the east. The rotation, Chad, the Weather Service is saying rotation remains solid. That was coming into Ellisville. That was about 5 to 8 minutes ago. And as you notice, it's there now. The rotation is sitting on top of Ellisville. I'm going to give it one more try, and we'll see if we do see anything with this storm. So we'll head out to Ellisville. Thomas, take the camera full one more time. Take max. All right, so we're sitting right on top of it, and we're starting to see the rain curtain come in because we're starting to really see the heavy rain falling there. But it is the rotation. It is sitting on top of the camera spot right now. It is over Jones College, and I'm going to pan this off towards the east. Notice how much brighter that tree line is now. That's because we got heavy rain moving across the Jones College area, and it looks like they got some of the street lights into the horizon. So that's why we're able to see it more, because the street lights are shining on off all of the raindrops. So it is currently sitting on top of Jones College, and the rotation with it is it would be right on top of campus. One good news, I'm not seeing any power outages. The radio tower in the distance is still flashing. I'm still seeing every street light on campus is on. So, we're not seeing any signs of anything that has touched down, but it's definitely a rough go of it right now out at Jones College. Very gusty winds out there at the moment. And with the storm now on top of it, and we're getting into the heavy rain, there's no hope of even attempting to see anything further. But the rotation now is crossed over the interstate. And so, as you can see, there it is right there on Jones College as it gets ready to cross over. So we're seeing here at Jordan Loop, Augusta Road, and this is getting ready to cross over the highway. I know that's a different highway. Let's see, not the Jenkins. I wanted to see the highway, computer. Sometimes you got to love technology. All right, there it is, Highway 29. So it's getting ready to cross 29. And it'll be doing so on the south side of Ellisville. This will eventually be heading out towards Tucker's Crossing, towards Luther Hill Road. And the next big highway outside of Tucker's Crossing Road would be Highway 15. And once it reaches 15, it would be getting close to the Glade community, and it was hidden by the banner. But there it is, the Glade community, and eventually moving off towards the north and east. So the rotation is sitting on top of Ellisville at the moment. We'll go ahead and pull up some of these cities to give you an idea of what to expect. Again, Jenkins at 7:25, Glade at 7:32, Antioch at 7:35, Eastview at 7:37, Powers at 7:38, and Myrick at 7:41. And I just noticed the polygon jumped a little bit. And it seems like I think they just updated the warning. So do you have it pulled up, Hannah? If not,
yeah,
I can
it's
look at it.
for Jones County till 8:15. It's still moving northeast at 30.
And they're not saying anything new with it so far?
They just updated it.
Okay.
continued it.
So there's just a continuation.
Yes.
There's no
Yep.
reports of anything. Okay.
No updates that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any difference between the two.
Okay. So this is again one of those situations where no news is good news. Nothing has changed. It's still rotating, but they're not seeing that it's on the ground. We're not seeing it. It's on the ground. You just saw over your shoulder a very messy image from Hannah's point of view. That's correlation coefficient debris detector that we talk about. And as Hannah was showing you, it's noisy. So we're not seeing any good indications that there's anything on the ground. But I will say the rotation with this storm over the last little bit, definitely not as robust as it was, say, about 10 minutes ago. We're starting to see that rotation, or at least in my opinion, the rotation is not as robust as it was a few minutes ago, but it's still credible nonetheless, and that's why we are watching it at the moment. But we're definitely still tracking everything as it moves off towards the north and towards the east. And in fact, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up our analyst Doppler, and as you can see, this right here is the rotational track with this storm. It's definitely still at its strongest point. Over a while, once it's moved into Jones County, it's been at its strongest point. But really, that last scan, just not as intense as it was a few minutes ago. But it's definitely still rotating. Let's see, I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. It's definitely still rotating, but just not as strong as it was, say, a couple of minutes ago. But it's definitely still something that we are watching very carefully out here this afternoon. So let me go ahead and pull that down. There we go. But the rotation is starting to broaden out now. A few minutes ago it was very tight, but now look at it. We're seeing maybe about a 3/4 of a mile to a mile wide rotation. So we're starting to see that rotation widen back up. So it is, I think, in its cycle of it was getting strong. Now it's starting to weaken again. But we're definitely still seeing some areas of rotation. And again, there's what we're looking at right now. The area of rotation sitting on top of Ellisville, a little bit tighter than I wanted to go, but that's okay. We can always back it back up, and we'll continue to move off it'll continue to move off towards the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Here's where I was looking at earlier. As you can see, the purple and we had that yellow is very tight once it moved right on top of Ellisville. But notice the rotation, so that's its kind of track. You can see where the strongest part of it was earlier. But watch this when I turn off the history and just show you where it's at now. Notice it's just a green blob, and it's not a tight blob, it's an elongated blob. So we're seeing this starting to kind of broaden out once again here as we take a live look at this cell as it's sitting here on the radar. But again, 726, the area of rotation sitting just on the east side, about a mile east of Ellisville, and this will eventually be coming into areas. It'll be coming into areas right around Tucker's Crossing, Myrick, towards Glade, and eventually, if it holds together, getting close out towards Mill Creek, and I think it'll go just south, but maybe about a mile or so just south of Power. So we're going to watch this carefully. But the parent area of rotation is down here, and I think it's safe to say that the actual area of Laurel, especially downtown Laurel, is going to miss this one. But if you have an Ellisville address, if you have a Laurel address, and you live south of I-59, you need to be into your safe spot, because this is a storm not to be messed with. And we're still seeing a little bit of heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail mixing in out towards the Laurel Airport right now and towards the Pendorf community. But the rotation with it is down here near Ellisville. But again, the storm, it cycled up. It got really tight once it moved into Jones County. It probably was at its strongest point near Ellisville, but it's starting to kind of broaden out now a little bit this evening. And I just got a notification. I'm not sure why that even popped up, but they're severe thunderstorm watch continuing until midnight here. They're continuing that across the area, and we're still watching things very carefully here across the viewing area. So we'll go back over to the radar right now. Severe thunderstorm watch continuing until midnight. No changes there. More development of thunderstorms off towards the south and west, but this is the only cell that we're watching. This is a true supercell. It is out here by itself. We've been tracking it for we're coming up on 2 hours. About an hour 45 minutes as it started off in its journey in southwest Marion County, moved over Columbia, moved over Sumrall, moved over Moselle. Now it's sitting on top of Ellisville, and it's continuing to move off towards the north and towards the east here. The heaviest stuff now is sitting on top of the Laurel Airport towards Glade, and everything continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. So the rotation with it is going to be well south of Laurel. But yeah, this is definitely not its strongest appearance by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm looking to see. I'm not. I think that's all in areas that are outside of our area because I don't recognize the people. Okay. All right. So yeah. All right, so we're definitely seeing this rotation on the storm. It's definitely broadening out, and eventually, the Weather Service will make their decision once again on what they decide to do or what they decide not to do. Since this cell has a history of cycling, that'll be taken into judgment as everything moves off towards the north and east. But again, tornado warning remains in effect for Jones County until 8:15. Here's the areas that are under that warning. In fact, let me just turn on the warning itself. So let's just turn on the warning, and we'll turn on the warning info here. So here we are, tornado warning for Jones County. Basically, it's just Ellisville, Tucker's Crossing, Glade, the south side of Laurel, Powers, and Myrick, and that is until 8:15 tonight. Hail size up to 1 inch. So we were seeing hail earlier. I'm not seeing as much signs of hail now, but if it is still hailing, it's going to be near the Laurel Airport right now. That's where the hail core is. The rotation with it is down here just to the east of Ellisville, out towards Tucker's Crossing. But again, the rotation not as impressive now as it was about 15 minutes ago as it was moving over Ellisville. It's definitely undergoing a transitional phase here. It may be becoming outflow dominant, but the rotation is definitely looking much sicker now than it was about 20 minutes ago when it was pretty healthy, but it's definitely looking much weaker at the moment. But the tornado warning continues. Heavy rain falling here at the TV station. I'm sure you can hear it. And by the way, this is just one little shower? Is that what I saw on your radar,
Yeah.
Hannah? It's just one little shower, but it sounds like the world's coming to an end here with the roof being a little bit lower in this temporary set than it is in the real studio. But again, what we're watching is not showers. I'm not on TV interrupting your show because of showers. We are interrupting because there is a tornado warning still in effect for Jones County, and this is going until a little bit around 8:15 was what I just read there. But again, Johnson, areas east of Ellisville, basically east of Ellisville near Glades, Tucker's Crossing, this is where the area of rotation is. So it's now between 29 and 15 there in central Jones County at the moment as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. So we're still watching it. We're still tracking it. But if there is any good news, the rotation does not appear as robust as it was, say, about 15 minutes ago. It's definitely, and I'll even show it to you. It was definitely a much stronger appearance once it was moving, and this was at 7:20, so this was just 10 minutes. So it appears it is really broadening out now, and it almost looks like it's now becoming downdraft. The downdraft is overtaking the storm now, so the outflow winds are coming into it a little bit more. So we may be seeing this storm coming into a new part of its life cycle if it's becoming more downdraft oriented than circulation. But still, this storm has a ton of lightning with it. Look at all the lightning here. It's hard to even see the storm because there's so much lightning that is still popping up on radar. Here we are at 7:33. The heaviest part of the storm now between 29 and 15. And the Weather Service, if there is a little bit of good news, the Weather Service in Mobile has now issued a severe thunderstorm warning. So this comes up to the jurisdictional change with Mobile with this storm. So Mobile's interpretation is that this is now a severe thunderstorm. So when this storm crosses the threshold, when it crosses into Wayne County, if the Weather Service in Jackson does not continue this storm, if they don't continue this tornado warning, we'll be able to go back to coverage once this tornado warning ends. But the Weather Service in Mobile is feeling like this storm is coming to an end of its tornadic cycle, and so they're going downstream with a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15, 8:30, and I see it crawling across the bottom of our screen, or across the top of the screen. It's right here at the moment. I have to look down, so you'll have to forgive me for that, folks. But Hannah, are you seeing anything new on your side?
No, there's just lots of reports of hail in Laurel right now.
Okay.
That's all that I'm really seeing.
What size hail are you seeing in Laurel?
3/4 of an inch.
Okay. What about, you said you were getting reports of hail out of Laurel, or what are they seeing? Has anybody said so far?
It's not from, well, one report came from the National Weather Service, and then the rest are from Facebook comments.
Okay. I'm seeing a report, dime-sized hail falling at the EOC, the EMA in Laurel, so the Emergency Operations Center.
Some are saying the hail is easing up now as it's making its way through Laurel, but I'm not really sure where exactly they're at in Laurel. So.
Okay. So we're definitely, I mean, that would make sense because the EOC is right about where the U in Laurel is. Or it's actually a little bit further to the east. That's 15, so it would be near the E in Laurel. That's where the EOC is, and now the hail core is to the east. So Powers, Northeast Jones High School, Dixie Power is sitting right here. That's where their headquarters are. So out towards Victory Road, you're seeing that hail core with it. It's surprising to me because the storm probably had. This storm has just been weird to me, Hannah. It's had its. I thought it was its better presentation of hail when it was off towards the west, and we didn't necessarily get much. I mean, be fair, it was in a very rural part of the Pine Belt, but now, it's got a signature with it again, and we're getting tons of reports of hail now coming out of Laurel with the EOC, and you were getting reports as well. So basically that hail swath went through basically Indian Springs, through the Laurel Airport, through Pendorf. Now it's moving into the south side of Laurel. And now it is moving out towards Power. So if you live 84 east of Laurel, you're about to get into the hail core, and this will be coming up pretty soon to Lake Bogahoma and out towards Magnolia Road, Red Hills Crossing, Pool Creek Road as well. And this is, again, out towards Northeast Jones High School. 8:15, continuing with this tornado warning time. Hail is now the biggest concern, and yeah, definitely by a mile. This is now turning into a hail concern here because I'm seeing it, and I'm just not seeing that rotation with it anymore. I mean, are you seeing this anymore in terms of rotation? The rotation has really just. It's like the storm is just turned off here. That's basically what they do. You get downdraft dominant, and the downdraft will just choke out the rotation. So it chokes off the inflow, and you get a messy storm like this. But we're definitely seeing this storm come into a new part of its lifestyle here. But again, tornado warning continuing for the south, for the areas of Laurel. And speaking of Laurel, we haven't done it yet because our camera is on the opposite side of town. It always seems like that's how it is. Our camera is on the opposite side of town. So we got to look through the storm to even see what's going on. 68 degrees right now in Laurel. Heavy, gusty winds, but it's not as bad at the moment at this location. A lot of lightning off towards the east. But really now the biggest part of the storm is just east of Laurel. It's now east of the interstate along 84. Out towards Old 84, 184, as it's called, out towards Dixie Electric and out towards the Powers community and out in those areas as well. Good buddy of mine, Lance Chancellor, out there. I'm sure he's out at the fire station, out at Powers VFD. And we'll see what they're getting out there right now. But Myrick out towards Mill Creek, M&M, the Myrick Mill Creek Fire District area as well. But again, the worst of this storm now is in Powers. So you can see the bright pink in Powers, and we just got an update from the Weather Service. And I see it flashing a little bit. Let's see. They're saying 737, a severe thunderstorm capable, producing a tornado near Tucker's Crossing, or 8 miles southeast of Laurel, moving east at 30. So now they're saying it's moving east at 30 miles per hour. So I'm looking there right now. And I'm seeing a little bit of a gusty wind report coming in from areas around Ellisville, but I'm not seeing any signs of anything going on. All right, so that's what we're looking at the moment. Circulation has become much more broader, and they're saying it is becoming downdraft or dominant. RFD surge, that's the rear downdraft of this supercell. But even with it becoming downdraft dominant, it just means that the rotation is being choked off. The storm is still there. The storm is still alive. And it's still producing hail. And that's what we're seeing right now. Again, the hail core with this storm moving right on top of Laurel. You can see where it has been. Here's where the hail is now, basically out towards Power, Glade. And again, this one hail product that we have here is slightly delayed. It's delayed by about one scan. So it's a little bit further to the east of it now, but it gives us a pretty good idea of what we're looking at here with this storm. But again, a lot of activity going on. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this back to real time now, because we can do that with our analyst Doppler. And basically, this is real time hail. So this right here puts it in what we would expect to see now, right now. And you can see the radar is estimating hail maybe a little bit to about 1.25 inches of hail. So basically, we're seeing 1 inch hail possible with this thunderstorm out towards Powers, Northeast Jones High School, getting close to the Myrick area as everything moves off towards the east. And talking about my good buddy Lance Chancellor, he just texted me, heavy dime-sized hail falling and torrential rainfall out at Powers Volunteer Fire Department. The Powers VFD is on the roads out there right now, so they're making sure everything is okay, and they are relaying information back towards the Jones County ESC, which then relays that to the Weather Service. So they're all out there doing a valuable service right now, giving us a little bit of ground truth. But that's what we're seeing right now. And again, Lance, that he just texted me that heavy dime-sized hail falling out there right now, and that's being reported by Powers VFD. And I figured it would be, because that's where the pink is showing up on radar. This is Powers Fire Department's jurisdiction, basically this part of 84. Then you come into the east part, and that becomes Myrick and Mill Creek, the M&M Fire Department. So we're still watching things at the moment. But again, if there is any good news, the rotation with this storm has dramatically weakened here. So I'm not seeing any big signs that this storm is spinning anymore. But what I am seeing signs of is this storm producing hail. And so the rotation is not necessarily there anymore. This is the percentage that the storm is producing hail. And as you can see, this is the radar saying, is it producing hail? The areas in purple and white, basically over 80%. Yes, it is producing hail, and as you just heard, we are getting reports of dime-sized hail falling into areas of eastern Jones County near Powers, and the radar is indicating that we could see 1 inch size hail, and we're getting reports of dime-sized hail falling across the city of Laurel. Now, Hannah, do you have anything new coming in on your side that you're hearing of anything so far?
Not anything new, just lots of the same hail reports that you're talking about as well.
Okay.
So.
All right. So we're no news is good news, basically.
The last thing I saw was a storm report from Jones County in Glade. It says that tree limbs have been snapped and trash cans were displaced, but that's the most damage reports I've seen. So.
Okay. All right, and I'm also seeing a report of 1 inch hail on Lower Myrick Road near Highway 15 in Laurel. That's coming from Ham Radio operator. That's coming in new as well. So we're getting multiple reports of hail coming in now on the east side of Jones County. And again, the rotation has pretty much been choked off with this thunderstorm, but hail is quickly becoming a real big concern for us as everything kind of continues to move off towards the north and towards the east. But there it is right now, where it is hailing right now. Myrick out towards the Mill Creek community, Lake Bocoma, and this is coming over very close to Litzy, and eventually this will be crossing into Wayne County out towards the Whistler community as well. So basically, beat 4 Elementary out towards Whistler. You need to be heads up because this storm is definitely producing hail with it, and in fact we can turn on the hail pathcast. This is where the hail history has been with this storm, and you can see it has produced some hail, but it really started picking back up once it moved north of Ellisville. It became a very, very tight rotation. It started producing hail near Pendorf, towards Glade, south side of Laurel, and that's continuing out towards the east now, out towards Myrick. That was the hail history. I'll turn off the history and just show you what's happening now. And basically, it's just around the areas around Myrick, towards Litzy, and eventually, again, that'll be coming out towards Whistler, and out here in western Wayne County along Highway 84. But again, the Weather Service in Mobile has opted to just go with a severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County instead of a tornado warning, and I think that's what this storm is transitioning to. It's transitioning away from being a severe thunderstorm or a tornadic storm and transitioning now into a severe thunderstorm, but definitely still seeing a lot of good indications that this storm is producing hail out towards Mill Creek, towards Myrick, out towards Lake Bocoma as well. And that'll be coming out towards Stringford, Pleasant Grove Road, right here near 84. Whistler is here, but we're getting near the Litzy community at the moment as everything continues to move off towards the north and east. Now, Laurel, yourself, you're done. The threat of severe weather from this storm is done. We're still under the tornado watch until midnight. But again, not tornado watch, severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. Don't think our threat will last that long. I think things will really start to come to an end by 9 to 10 o'clock, but we're still tracking things nonetheless. And we got this one thunderstorm still producing hail along 84. So if you're driving out 84 between the Wayne County line and I would say Northeast Jones High School, you shouldn't be driving because it's probably a torrential downpour. Again, dime-sized hail being reported falling, and that was reported from the Jones County Fire Department of Powers VFD coming in. Lower at Myrick Road, Powers firefighter, that was coming in from Shelley Clark. So thank you to Lance for letting me know that. They're out there right now reporting in some of the hail coming in, and we're still watching things as everything moves off towards the north and towards the east. But Mill Creek, Myrick, and all these areas right here along 84, that's where the hail core is. You can see that bright purple. It even looks a little bit bright in that one little pixel there. And we're still tracking the possibility of hail. In fact, it is still hailing out there in eastern Jones County. That'll be coming into Wayne County. So let's go ahead and give some of you a heads up with this. So it's still moving off towards the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So we're talking about coming into Whistler at about 8 o'clock, West King at 8:11, Waynesboro at 8:15, and should it hold together, Shibuda by 8:17. So basically, this is the track on this storm where the most severe part of it is. But obviously, this is going to be very close to Stringford pretty soon. Probably seeing a lot of lightning. The same thing out towards Yucata, and everything continues to move off towards the north and east. So this is to give you an idea of where everything is. Here is the storm right now. Here's Stringford, Whistler, Waynesboro, Hiwanee, Yucata. This gives you a little bit of orientation. Here's the city of Laurel, by the way, as everything continues to move off towards the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So we're going to stay with you until this tornado warning expires, and then we'll return you back over to regular programming. But the Weather Service is basically just letting this ride out. And I think this is pretty much their only option. It doesn't make sense to issue a completely different warning when the storm is about to move out of the county here in about 5 minutes. So I think this is going to be moving completely into Wayne County coming up here in about 5 to 7 minutes. It'll be completely a Wayne County thing, but we're still going to watch it nonetheless. Even if we get off the air, we're still here. We're watching it. We're not leaving the station and driving home and going to bed. We're staying here until the threat is over to keep you safe and informed. That's what we're here to do, is to keep you safe, and that is what we're going to do. But we're still watching this at the moment. But by the way, like I said, Laurel, you're done. You're not seeing any heavy rain. You're not seeing any hail. Nothing tornadic. You're done. And same for Powers as well. Tucker's Crossing delayed. This storm has now moved off towards the east. It is still producing hail near the Wayne Jones County line on 84. And again, multiple firefighters from the Powers VFD reporting torrential dime-sized hail falling throughout their jurisdiction, their fire district out in eastern Jones County. This is again right now the hail core is sitting on top of the Jones County line with Wayne County. So it's sitting right near that little sign there that says, "Welcome to Jones County," or "Welcome to Wayne County" if you're heading eastbound. And that's going to be coming up very soon to Whistler. This is only a couple of miles away from Whistler. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that. 7 miles away from Whistler. So that's what we're looking at there. And everything still showing that we do have hail within this thunderstorm. Velocity-wise, not so much. The velocity is pretty much gone. This is not no longer showing any signs of rotating, but it is definitely showing signs of hail with it, man. I'm gonna toss this to Hannah so I can get a drink of water.
Yeah.
But Hannah, tell us a little bit about more what we're seeing out there, and also show us what's down the line after this storm as well.
So right now, like Patrick has been saying, we're watching this one storm that has been issued a severe thunderstorm over in Wayne County, but we're still watching it because it's under a tornado warning for Jones County. So this is kind of what we're keeping an eye on, but the rotation has broadened and weakened significantly over the past 20-30 minutes. It's nearly nothing right now. Of course, there is still a little bit of a rotation that we're keeping an eye on, which is why it's still under a tornado warning right here. But it's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning as it heads into Wayne County. That's kind of what we're expecting right now. And as far as hail goes, we've all known that it's producing 1/4 of an inch size hail at the moment, up to 1/2 an inch in some locations over Myrick. Gonna say it right this time. Over Myrick, it's producing 1/2 an inch hail right now, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And as I get this watch out of the way, I hate that yellow color on my radar. We're kind of seeing some cells popping up as we go throughout the evening. You can see one over near Collins and Seminary right now. About to cross 84, I believe, is what that is right now. And then we have some coming into areas such as Columbia and Olo right now, but now they're not looking so strong. Of course, there's lots of heavy rain with these, but there's nothing to worry about as of right now that I'm seeing. No rotation with these. Not looking like any hail on the radar is picking up with these. So that is some good news. We do have some coming in from Louisiana towards Macomb that I'm going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the evening, of course, and Patrick as well. But right now, I'm trying to get this pulled up a little bit to see if there's any rotation with this storm. And it just doesn't look like there's any with this one as well. So that's some good news that is kind of headed our way as it goes through the Macomb area. Right now it's headed off towards the north and towards the east. But right now, taking kind of a broader look at some things, there is a severe thunderstorm warning over near Brookhaven. That's not in our viewing area, and I don't think that that would come into the Pine Belt right now. But we are seeing some cells popping up pretty much all across the Pine Belt. Got some down towards Wiggins, Hattiesburg, Olo, Columbia as well. So we're going to keep an eye on those, but I'm not seeing anything as of right now that it's kind of giving me a concern that they might become severe or become a tornado warning or anything like that. And it looks like that tornado warning was just canceled. I'm trying to get that confirmed. Yes, they have canceled the tornado warning from Jones County right now. So that is some good news as this heads off into Wayne County. This is becoming just a severe thunderstorm warning that we're seeing right now, crossing Highway 84 into Wayne County right now. Again, they have canceled that tornado warning for Jones County. Patrick, are you back yet, or do you want me to keep going?
I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back.
just making sure.
And that's some good news. So they are they've canceled the tornado warning. Thomas, you can come back over to me now. But we're still going to be here throughout the rest of this evening. So we're still going to be here to keep you safe and informed on what's going on. But this is a look at the radar, Southern Electric Radar. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for most of the Pine Belt until midnight. We still got some severe thunderstorms off towards our west, but they are producing hail. And I think this is how tonight's going to be. If we do see anything else strong, it's going to be a hail or a gusty wind threat. But with that tornado warning coming to an end, we're going to go and return you back over to regular coverage. But don't think we're going away. We're still going to keep you updated on Air Online and through social media as well. But for now, alongside meteorologist Hannah Hayes, I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Bigby. We'll return you back over to regular coverage right now.